All right, guys, so I got my cousin Alex here.
Hey guys.
And you may know Alex. It's been a little while since he's been on the channel. He's got a YouTube channel called The Gas Tap.
That's right.
All right, so he's here this weekend, and we're going to be working on his rear end right here for one of his projects. And he's got a '69 Plymouth Valiant that he's been working on. It's been a long time project, and what we're going to be doing with this rear end right here is I'm going to help him. We're going to shorten it. All right, so this came out of, you said, a 98 Dodge Ram.
Right.
Dodge Ram 1500.
Right.
And this is a Chrysler 9 1/4 rear end. That's a standard rear end out of all of your Ram trucks and like his Dodge Dakota right here, correct?
Right.
Okay, so we're going to be cutting this thing up, and we're going to be welding some new ends on it. So let's take a look at this thing and see what we got here and what we're going to be working with. And so these are some new ends that you bought. These are store-bought items that will be welded on here, right?
Right. Now the difference between these and what's on the 9 1/4 is these are standard on a Mopar 8 3/4 or a Dana 60.
Okay. And
what that means is we don't have to use C-clips on the rear end. These are going to retain the bearings here, and it'll have a retaining plate so that if an axle breaks, that the wheel won't come off.
Okay.
Because with your C-clips, if you break an axle here, there's nothing holding that tire and wheel in, and that thing's going to just come right off.
I remember
so
that.
Be a safety issue.
Okay.
You know, a good safety precaution for drag racing and stuff like that.
I remember that being a manufacturing style for like the Ford 9-inch, right?
Correct. Yeah, Ford 9-inch also. So we're going to convert it. The guys at Mosier Axles said that they would have no problems building me some 30-spine axles. Basically, he's like, we'll just make you Dana 60 30-spine axles instead of 31 spines. Okay. So they're going to make me custom axles once we give them the dimensions of how we cut this thing.
Okay.
So yeah, basically what we're going to have is, already took the spring perches off, took the shock mounts off, so we just have a bare rear end here. Okay. Axles are out, chunks out.
And that's going to be on both ends here. We got all that out.
So we're going to be cutting approximately right here and then welding on our new piece, making sure it's level and flush, make sure the axle tubes are perfectly aligned, and that way we will have absolutely no problems when it's done.
Yeah. So part of my job, and Alex is going to give me a hand, we're going to be doing we're going to find a piece of material, a rod that'll go all the way through, 1 1/4 inch, and then we're going to be making what everybody calls pucks. We're going to be cutting some solid steel blanks.
Yeah, and that'll center us. The puck will be this size.
Yep.
And then we'll have the 1 1/4 in the center. That way we can run our shaft all the way through to center up everything.
Yep. So we'll have a puck in that, which would be out here somewhere. And then we're going to have one in here. I believe this comes out, this bearing race here. You said this is going to come out.
Right.
And we'll have one sitting here, and of course on the other side, have the rod going all the way through. Then we'll tack the new ends on very, very good, and then we'll weld it completely up. All right. So we'll start with doing our measurements that we need, and we're going to get some material cut up and start doing some machining first. How about that?
Yep. Sounds good.
Alrighty, we got our stock here in the lathe set up. We're going to be using a steady rest here. I want to get a nice clean cut on this material. You can see how far out it is there. It's pretty rough. So let's get the face cleaned up. I want to get back here.
Yeah.
It was built during World War II.
Man, that's cool. And it runs perfect. Right, better than any new machine out there.
They were engineered to last a lifetime.
A couple of lifetimes. Yeah, a couple of lifetimes.
It's got a couple issues. There's a couple things wrong with it that I try to hide, don't let people really know. But other than that, it's still a good working machine.
Yeah, I wouldn't even tell. Couldn't even tell if there's something wrong with it.
All right, let's start making some chips here. Chips are flying.
Chips are flying. That's hot.
Yeah.
Wow, I can smell it. See how they turn blue? Yeah, hot. Hot. How much are you taking off right there?
It's 200,000.
Wow.
200. Might try a different insert. And we're going to go down to 2.530. So we got 3 different sizes. We're going to have, this will be one for a different size puck. We'll got this one here, and then we're going to turn this for the other 2. There we go.
How much you got on that one?
The same thing, it's 200, but I changed the tool. Get in there and get them a little closer shot of that. That's a different style of insert. It does a beautiful job of rolling that metal over and breaking off into a little curlicue. See how pretty that is?
Okay, that's nice. Doesn't throw chips everywhere.
Yeah.
Shoots it right down in the barrel where it's supposed to go.
Yep. Depends on the depth of cut, the feed rate, and how that chip is going to. On a tool like that style of insert, generally the deeper cut that you have, the better chip you're going to pull off. I'm only taking 150 that time, so you got a different chip profile. I'm not worried about making any kind of finish cut there. I'm just trying to split the difference and land on my finished size.
How far are we now?
155 hopefully away. I gotta get my calculator out, so I don't like adding all that stuff up in my head. 158.
158 thousandths?
I was 3 thousandths off. That's because I changed the depth of the cut there. There, so it's not wanting to break off very well. But I want to use it for the heavy cuts on the other one there, so that's why I'm not swapping it out. All right, final cut on this journal here.
I'll be honest with you, it's tempting to pick up a sneaky.
So that's that one.
Yep. Let's see if I hit my mark. .871 and a half. 1.5 a thou over, man. Losing my touch. I'm gonna shoot for 2 cuts. We're gonna take a 1/2 inch. I'm gonna do it in 2 cuts, and we're gonna land on 3.307.
All right, let's do it.
So let's just go ahead and do that, because that was a 1/2 inch. So I'm gonna take 250. And this is something that I talk about, you know, when I'm doing my work and I'm planning things. If you take equal cuts, you have equal amount of pressure, because as you're cutting, this tool is pushing that workpiece off. And then if you take a light cut, this workpiece is not pushed over, so your cut is going to be changed. So you want to take equal amounts when you're trying to land on a size. That's why I like when you do finish cuts, you're taking the same amount each time, no matter if it's 10 thousandths, 20 thousandths, 50 or 100.
Oh, okay.
You do equal amounts when you're trying to finish on a size.
Divide it in half.
Yeah, divide it in half. Yep.
Okay.
So let's
excellent.
So this is going to be a 1/4 inch. rea-end 307 on this journal right there. We hit it. I mean, it is dead on it. I know you can't see it on the GoPro, but for rea-end 307. 2 heavy finish cuts at a 1/4 inch a cut. We landed on it. Using that long 1/2 inch, get that pilot hole down in there. Here's our 1 1/4 reamer. Yes.
Okay. That's why
Reamer is designed to make a nice true round hole on size.
Okay.
A drill bit is not. A drill bit is going to make a hole through there, and it's going to be
triangular sometimes. Right?
Sometimes it will be, and it's not going to be exact on size. But a reamer is designed to put it on the size that you want it. As long as you got the machine running the way it should be. A reamer is not guaranteed to put it on the exact hole size either. You could be 1 or 2 thousandths off if the reamer is not in line with the spindle like it should be.
But still better than drill bit.
Yes.
Okay.
Designed to put a nice finish in the hole and put it right on size.
Okay. Very good.
Okay, we've got all the centering rings here, the pucks, as we call them, all machines. These are the extra 2 right here that we machined so that Alex would have these to be able to use for the stock 9 1/4 ends in case he ever wants to use these stock ends to narrow another rear end. This is stuff that he's just going to keep in his possession for later use. You can see we've got one dropped into the new end right there. Got a nice close fit in those, and you can see we decided not to go with the facing. We just I did chamfer them, but don't need to go all fancy facing on them. And then we've got these right here. It's going to fit into that housing right there. It's a very close fit, like so. You get one on each side. All right, and then of course got a rod that's going to go through there. So our next phase now is we're going to get this thing jigged up right here. Probably going to use this saw right here. This is the Metal Devil, MK Morris Metal Devil saw. Get it set up with the axle housing. We'll have to get it fixtured up so that it's nice and level, and probably use this to do our cutting. We've got our reference lines here, but we'll do some precision measuring to make sure that we have our tubes cut where we need them. I wanted to give you guys one quick update on the building here, and let's go over one or two things. I've got a couple things to discuss. We just had a big thunderstorm come through a little bit ago, probably about 15-20 minutes ago, and it rained hard for about 10 minutes. And one of the things that a lot of people commented on was water getting in this building. And when we talked about this going up, when I mentioned it in the build video, I said that the contractor sealed the bottom rails. They put caulking underneath it, then they bolted it down. and I still got a lot of comments from people that didn't hear me. Water's gonna get underneath there and get into your building. It's gonna cause problems. And I just don't understand why people don't think that me and others can't see the same thing. But I knew that was gonna cause issues with that overlapping concrete down there, but that's just how it was, because when the guy poured the concrete, he made it an even 25-foot square. And that's how he had it laid out when he did it, when it should have been a 24 by 25 square concrete. But I noticed that the eaves there, the overhang, whenever the water is dripping, it actually drips next to the concrete. It doesn't actually land on top of the concrete right there. I'm sure you're getting splash up on there, but you're not getting all the water landing directly onto the concrete. But I also went in there after the video. I didn't show this, but I went in there and I ran a bead of caulking down the sides there to seal it up, just to make sure that no water got in there. So I wanted to show you that, and I want to go in there and look to see if there's any wet spots, you know, even maybe from the roof. Maybe the roof's got a little leak. But I can also tell that I think my sealer is working too. I put 3 coats of sealer down. I bought a 5-gallon pail of sealer and put that down. And it looks like it's beading up. The water's beading up good. So I don't see any water in here. But I've got it caulked. You can see right there. I caulked the inside of it. So that should seal any kind of water that's gonna try to get underneath that rail and come in here. That sound is the water from the tree dripping down on that roof there. But I don't see any water in here, so we don't have any leaks. But that caulking goes all over around there. So yeah, our sealer's doing good. You can see it beating up there. So I ended up putting that stuff down until it was completely run out, and it says that it recommended 2 coats. So I was able to do 2 coats on the entire floor, and then I ended up going back for a 3rd coat because there was enough left to keep going. And these 4 squares right here have a 3rd coat of sealer on there. And I figured this is going to be, you know, more of the high traffic area coming into the doors anyway. So I just wanted to show you guys that we're not getting any water in here. It's doing pretty good. So as I make some more improvements in here and I start getting the shelving and things like that up, I'll show you the progress. All right. I just made it back from Mobile, and I went over there today to pick up the load here of the new pallet shelving for the new garage. I found a dealer over there that sells this stuff. This is all used, salvaged, you know, industrial pallet shelving, and he sells all different styles and sizes. And this is the size of that I wanted. I wanted the 36-inch wide. I did not want the 48-inch wide, which is what you typically use for, you know, for pallet storage, but it's just too wide. So he had 36-inch with the wire shelving. I believe they call this the waterfall or the cascades type shelving because it goes over the edge. So we've got all those to fill the shelves up. So anyway, there's a dealer there in Mobile. If anybody's interested in the, you know, South Alabama, North Florida area, I could give you the guy's number. He's got loads of it over there, all different heights and sizes that you would want. So I've got 2 different heights that we're going with. We've got a 10-foot here, and I was going to go with an 8-foot high on the wall, but all of the 8-foot wall, 8-foot high uprights that he had, I couldn't find any that I liked. They had some dents in them, bent, and just couldn't find any that I liked. So these are 9.5-foot high uprights. He gave me these for the same price because these are in good shape right here. And these 10-footers are in like new condition right here. He says these come out of a place that they didn't even have a forklift, so these weren't smashed up at all. All right. So the 10-foot high, there's going to be a total of, I bought enough to make 4 shelves total for the 10-foot high, which is going to be on the back wall. And then the what I'm calling the 8 foot high, I got a total of 3 shelves for that. But the way I'm going to do this is that there's going to be, I'm going to leave the bottom shelf up high, like maybe 3-4 foot up from the bottom, so that the concrete, I can be able to put pallets there with the pallet jack, all the heavy stuff down on the bottom. So anyway, I went out there, he would have delivered all this stuff for 150 bucks, which I thought was not bad, especially coming from Mobile. But I got some good advice from my friend Andrew, Blacksmith Tools, and he was telling me to really pay attention to these things. When you buy these, you know, you usually get them pretty cheap. I got a pretty good deal on this stuff, but don't buy them if they're bent up, dented, kinked, you know, all that kind of crap. He suggested don't get them when there's stickers all over them, you know, things like that, painted on, rusted up. So I wanted to go over there and hand pick the ones that I wanted. So that's what I did. I made sure that they were not bent, and I was able to get all of these beams except for 3 with there's 3 of them there that have stickers, and it was just, we would have had to move an entire pallet load of these things out of the way to get to another stack of these things for 3 of them without the stickers. And I was just to that point where I was ready to get out of there, so I agreed to take 3 of them with these barcode stickers still on them. But I'm going to pressure wash these things too, because they got a lot of dirt and dust on them from wherever they were at, so I think I can clean that crap off anyway. So anyway, that's the load. I'm going to start unloading, and I'll share with you guys how this process goes, okay? Abby did a wonderful job unloading the trailer and getting everything in here into the building.
You're gonna have to buy me dinner.
Dinner? That's easy.
Yep.
Where you want? Veneris Brothers?
Yep.
Veneris Brothers it is.
Pasta. I burned a lot of calories, so I need to fill them up again. You know how it is.
You're looking stylish in your gloves.
Thanks. I am really dirty.
Well, thankfully, she come out and worked very hard, and we knocked this out in probably less than an hour.
Yeah.
And got all of the shelves transplanted over to a pallet like I wanted to do. We've got all of the rails on the pallets as well. I've got to move these things again because I want to clean them. Some of them have a lot of dirt and dust on them.
I'm not gonna be here that day.
Yeah, she's going to be gone. She's got something to do that day. So there's the uprights. We've just kind of got them standing there. You can see the 10 footers back there. It'll match the wall height there very well. Got another one standing there. 3 of these wire, these are at the very bottom. We've got 2 of these that were cut out right in here. Then there's a couple more underneath it that were bent up. You can see like this one right here was bent. So I'm going to contact the seller and ask if we can do some trading and send these back and get some better ones to trade out. I'm sure he'll work with me on those, because these, like I said, these were all the way at the bottom and we didn't see those. At least I didn't pay attention to these right there. So anyway, that's not a big deal. We'll handle those.
Most of them are good.
Yep. Thanks for the help, babe.
No problem.
I appreciate it. Got a lot of work to do, but really looking forward to this now. I'm gonna have some proper heavy-duty shelving in the building here.
Storage for my shoes.
Storage for shoes. Lots of storage there.
No, I won't
Shoes,
put anything in here.
shoes, and Christmas decorations.
All A-bomb stuff. I've been told already.
There's gonna be one shelf that's gonna be nothing but vices. All vices
That's awesome.
and tools. Making some progress on the new shelving today. So I got all of these beams here pressure washed. A lot of them are very dirty and dusty. So I'm just taking them outside and pressure washing them. I've still got all these I got to do. All of these beams here are going to be for the back wall there. That'll be a total of 20 foot long of shelving, two 10 foot long sections there. And then this is a 10 foot long section, and that's an 8 foot long section there. So as I had mentioned before, I'm leaving the bottom there open so that I can put pallets under there and use my pallet jack to be able to store things underneath there. You know, very heavy items, all the heavy metal that I've got in my shed and steel and things like that, it's gonna go there. So we got 3 foot there, 2 foot and 2 foot, and that's gonna allow me to be able to push this shelving all the way back up against, to miss those braces right there. You can see that's as high as I can go if I wanna go all the way against the wall with it. But everything is coming together good. I'm gonna go ahead and start putting these wire shelves on there. And I did contact the seller about the ones that are messed up. I found the 2 that are cut out. I've also got some that are bent up, and he said it's no problem. I can swap those out with some good ones. So I'm probably gonna have to go to Mobile one day, and then once I do, I'll just take those over there and swap those out for some better ones. I'll bring you back once we get some shelving up there. All right, trying to get them over against the wall there before I get them too heavy. So what we've got to do, these wire racks, he gave me extras on these 10 foot long sections. He gave me extra racks here to where you cut them. We'll have a 26-inch length right here, cut them to fit in there. And then I've got other ones for the 96-inch long beams, the 8 footers. Those dark gray ones down there are actually the proper ones that fit those beams there. And the good thing about what come out of these, the ones that are bent, which I've got those stacked up there, those bad ones that are bent on the corners and cut out, I can just use those for these cut sections there. So we'll have to do 3 for there, and then we're gonna have some more on that wall there. So I'm getting set up now. See, here's one of the bent up corners. So we'll measure over here 26 inches, and then we'll use this section right here and throw that away. That'll be scrap. I love it, not having to stretch an extension cord out here. Perfect. All right. These wire shells fit in there perfectly, just like he said they would. So we got 4 more to throw in there. You can see they fit down in there and set on the beam just like they should. That one's got a little bit of a bend in it. Not too happy about that. That's going to go up to the top. Right. That one's going to be a little tricky to get in there. There we go. Fell in there that time. All right, we got it. All right, that's one side done. And I think that's gonna work pretty good for most of my needs. There's gonna be times where the wire racking is not really suitable for what you wanna hold, but for most things it'll work pretty good. You can omit that and cut some like 2x10s or whatever to go in there and put some plywood on that, but I wanted to go with the Cascade shelving, and we're already putting our bottom shelf to use there, getting that stack out of the way. So it's hot, but we're making progress. So I'm gonna go ahead and start pressure washing these guys here and get all these clean probably for today, and get them cleaned up, and then tomorrow I'll get out here and start getting this wall set up. All right, so we've got this box that come in from Willem Buys, and he's from the town of Pretoria, South Africa. And Willem is a goldsmith. He builds jewelry, and he made a couple of gifts for me and sent them to me. He actually he sent these things over with his sister. She was visiting Boston, and then she in turn mailed them down to me. And I want you to check out what he has made for me. Unbelievable. What do you think it is? Go ahead and take a guess. You're about to find out. You see that down in there? This is an unbelievable gift. There's his card right there. He is on Facebook under WB Jewelers. So we've got 2 gifts right here. We're going to get to this one just a second. So this is a brooch, and he casted this out of sterling silver. That's my logo. And he did tell me in his letter that he used the the wax technique. Really nice job. I mean, it's just a beautiful piece. Beautiful job on that right there. And then look at this. This is the one that I didn't know about. He didn't tell me about this. It is a reed 103.5 vise that he has made, and it actually works. So in his letter, he said that he cast this. He cast the parts out of bronze, and then the other pieces that he actually machined. He's got a small lathe and a small mill, and he machined the screw and the handles there. How cool is that? And then the wood block that it's on. Put the logo in there. But look at that vise, man. Let's see if we can get in there on it. I mean, it looks just like a factory reed vise. Reed 103.5R, made in Reed Manufacturing Company, Erie, Pennsylvania, USA, and it's also got a patent number there as well. I guarantee you, my buddy Andrew over at Blacksmith Tools doesn't have this vise right here. I'm sure this is a one of a kind, and I'm gonna cherish this one. I'm gonna love having it. This is gonna go in my display. Willem, thank you very much, man. This is a beautiful gift. I really appreciate it. I love the reed vices. They're my favorite. You know, the reed vices were just great vices to have. They're still awesome vices, and I love collecting them. I love owning them, and I love using them. So what an awesome pair of gifts. Thank you very much, Willem. All right, we got another really cool gift right here that was given to us by James Ford, and he's from Emberville, Pennsylvania. So, got a nice wooden box here that he made up to ship this tool in, and let me show you what he sent in. Check this guy out. Big boy tap. It's a 3 1/4 8, and he said that he has had this tap. Let me go ahead and get it out of the box right there. He said he's had this tap for about 20 years now, and it's not something he ever needed or used, but under the circumstances, the way he got it, he just hated to see it get thrown away. So he grabbed it and he took it, and he said he's just used it. I think he said he used it like as a doorstop, or either he had it on his desk. And once he saw the pictures a few weeks back when I was showing the tap wrench scores that I got, you know, the Greenfield number 24, number 22, he decided he wanted to send it my way. But he did send a nice letter here to go along with it. Matter of fact, that's the picture that I was talking about. That's the episode where I showed the 2 Greenfield tap and die handles there. And so in his letter, what he's talking about is that he was a mechanic for about 10 years at a trash removal company. And he says they would often set up their containers at a Westinghouse and some other local training facility. And both of those facilities said that they would throw away a bunch of tooling after what appeared to be maybe one-time use. And he found this in the trash one time and decided that he wanted to go ahead and keep this for himself. And so after all this time, he decided that he wanted to send it my way after seeing me with those big tap wrenches. And this will definitely go in the Greenfield number 24, because that one will hold up to a number 4 tap, a bolt size tap. It'll fit that shank right there. So James, that was really nice of you, and he's been enjoying his little 9-inch South Bend lathe as well, and he does some little home projects there on his lathe and enjoying it. But thanks for the tap. I don't know if we'll ever use it around here, but you know what? Maybe one of these days we'll get those tap wrenches out and we will put one of these big taps to use, and just to show the viewers what those tap wrenches are like. you know, actually having to use them on a big tap like this. But anyway, James, thank you very much for the tap. I appreciate it. It'll be nice to have that one around here too. We got these nice bad boys here, a couple of 1.25 inch thick bone-in ribeyes. We are getting ready to throw on the pit barrel. We've already got our corn and our potatoes cooked, and we're getting ready to get these things cooked down.
It's just amazing. She supports me
All
so
right,
much.
there they are.
It's ridiculous.
Got a couple of steaks. Got a special guest here today, my cousin Alex, coming to hang out for the weekend. We're going to work on his rear end for his car.
That's right.
And we're gonna start off with a nice steak cooked in the pit barrel. There we go. There she is. There's our finished bone-in ribeye with our potato and corn all cooked on the pit barrel. So Alex hasn't dived into it yet, but what do you think about that corn?
Corn's good, potato, delicious.
Yeah?
That steak's about to be.
Yeah, there's his steak still in the pan. I won't be able to eat all this, but I've tasted that corn. It sure is good, man. I'm getting ready to taste that steak.